everybody. It's another episode of Reality Riffs podcast. I'm Jessie Reed, along here with my co-host,
Philip Reed.
How was your week?
Pretty busy. Working, being a teacher. Lots of Frankenstein. Grading papers.
Yeah. Cool.
So now I get to relax and start binging on some, TV and whatever news I missed on during the week. So.
Is Super Bowl this weekend?
No.
Or next?
Oh, wait, yeah. No, it is a Super Bowl this weekend.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Chiefs. I know that because that was my former team. Whenever anybody, I don't really have a team, but whenever anyone would ask who's my team, I would just say Chiefs. I think it was spurred by that commercial. Remember when that guy was painting and that one he was supposed to be painting Chiefs in the end zone, and then that one dude's like, "Who are the chefs?" And so I think that's where it started. So the Chiefs and the
49ers.
Okay, I'm going to take the Chiefs.
All right, well, I'm taking the Chiefs because I'm an Andy Reid fan. I'm an Eagles fan.
Oh, is he? Yeah, but he's coaching the Chiefs now?
Yeah, well, no, he's been coaching the Chiefs for a long time. But yeah, he used to be coach of the Eagles, and I don't think the Eagles should have ever got rid of him. So
he was coaching when we were married still.
Was he? I think he was already out of Philly by then, though.
He's what, a shorter, rounder?
No, I think he's still a pretty big dude. Yeah, he's not short, but he's round.
Yeah, I know. I think he. Okay, whatever. I'll believe you. You know way more about. Okay, so should we just get into the episode then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we are on season 11, episode 2, called "The Ultimate Betrayal." Dun dun dun. I added that. Okay, and the description for the episode: Tom Sandoval returns to Los Angeles just in time for his birthday. His plans hit a snag when Ariana learns she wants to throw a party in their shared home. Sheena attempts to reinvigorate her music career. Okay, so I remember when we first agreed to do the podcast, and I said, pay attention to the music. Did you pay attention to the music today or this episode?
No, I mean, I kind of did. I noticed that there was like lyrics, I guess.
It was so good. This one, okay. Remember how I told you they'll have a melody or a beat, and then pretty much they're narrating what the scene's going to be about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This just, I don't know what the rest of the lyrics were, but they hit you with, I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. Just over and over. And I'm just like, yep.
Oh, no, I do remember there was a song about some dude was like doing a bunch of drugs, I think. Was that the song?
Was it the very first? I don't know. I said, I didn't know what they were saying until I don't want to work.
Yeah.
But
I think I had the subtitles on or something. It was weird. Yeah. I'll go back. I'll have to go back and check it out because it was quite strange, actually.
Yeah, this was a good episode for tracking the music because every scene had a banger. Okay, but we're walking through this very narrow path through Ariana's room. I mean, I can't talk. My room isn't always clean, but did it seem like she was moving out or in, or?
I think that she's taken everything that's hers into that room.
Smart woman.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't think of that. Yeah.
I mean, something's got to give, right? At some point, one of them's going to have to say, okay, I'm getting out. And,
Because her bathroom wasn't that cluttered. I noticed that. It was just, she just had her sink with her toiletries and stuff, but it wasn't anything. And I wouldn't think Ariana would leave her room looking like that, knowing cameras would be in it. But then again, after that long, maybe she just doesn't care. And then I think she's just getting ready, and we go into the kitchen. Where Tom and Anne are.
So are we picking up, are we picking up right from the last episode? Like this is that morning?
It didn't feel that way to me. The next morning. Yeah,
like Tom's first day
right,
back.
No. Yeah, I think so. Or we as the viewers should think so.
No, but anyway, that's where they frame it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, more it's just kind of like, okay, because this is the first time we see Tom. So it's like, okay, what's Tom been up to?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and poor Tom, he's been getting a lot of hate and, doing penance by playing soldier on a reality show. I watched, so I'd never heard of this show before. I'm a veteran, so I'm...
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. But... So I'm always skeptical when civilians want to go play army. Because I'm just like, it's not a fucking game,
Right.
And
I get that.
And so, anyways, but, I watched the trailer. It looks kind of like tear-jerky, kind of emotional, sort of in the vein of like a, The Biggest Loser type, right? Like people just getting broke down and having like these moments of,
to be built
to have these epiphanies, right? Does that happen for Tom? Right? He kind of alludes to that when he's talking to Tom later on. But I mean, I kind of want to watch this show and see, because I still feel like he's full of shit, totally disingenuous.
Yeah, but I mean, the show might be good.
Yeah, the show might be good. Like I said, I'm going to watch it for Brian Austin Green.
Brian Austin Green is in it?
That's what I think he's part of that cast. JoJo Siwa. So maybe Piper would want to watch it.
He will always and forever be David Silver to me. I don't, like...
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have been selling freaking meth to a bunch of high school kids in Beverly Hills.
You are so busted.
Shh, I know this much. I know this much. I know this much.
Oh my God. You heard it here, folks.
Shh. Okay. It's our secret.
You were a 90210 fan.
If you're listening to this podcast, you're in on my tiny secret.
No, this everybody.
No.
This was always my favorite show.
I will bury this so deep in my heart and my memory that it will never come out again.
I just want everyone to know, and this is me finding out in real time.
I never watched like a full episode.
Oh my, what?
No, it's just something that I've seen in the background.
When I said David Silver, you didn't even have to.
I didn't know his name, but I did know that he was the punk wannabe fucking Vanilla Ice that was selling fucking crank to what's her name, Tori Spelling, right? Because I think they were trying to cover up that she was actually cracked out at the time.
It wasn't Tori Spelling's character. It was why can't I think Jenny?
She was just cracked out in real life.
What?
Tori Spelling?
Allegedly, I don't know if she was ever. Okay. Was she?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Oh.
Wrong show.
Okay. Anyways, continue on. We need to get better at this so we can get a lawyer, because I might get.
Yeah, I don't know what actually happened. And she's had it.
I'm gonna cut that.
Yeah. Okay. Or not.
Or not. I don't know. Let's go.
Okay, but anyway, Tom and Anne are in the kitchen, and it's going to be his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to have a party at his house. But first he needs permission to have a party in his house. So he asks his paid assistant to ask permission for said party. How would you feel about that?
I couldn't, if I was Anne, I would
Or
quit that
any of
fucking
them.
job.
Tom Sandoval.
I would be like, there's
Anne,
no
Aria.
amount of money worth this.
Oh, it would be my favorite job ever. I would love that
God.
job. I would thrive at that job because I can look at somebody like Sandoval and be like, great idea. I'll get right on it. Sure. And then I
Oh
get
no,
paid?
you can see on Anne's face, she's like, I can't believe that this is my fucking life right now.
I think she's quit. I've heard she's quit since now. Or since this recording. But
yeah, if I was Tom or Ariana, I don't know how I'd feel. That would be awkward.
yeah, I just can't imagine sharing the living space, the schedules, and everything while your emotions are so fresh. Like that betrayal is out there, and apparently Tom's feeling, I don't know what Tom's feeling.
He's feeling betrayed because
By the fans?
By the
or what?
fans, and that's why I kind of feel like I can see him going over this kind of cliff into that sort of bro world where I've been right, because there's this whole world now and online now of like men who have been slighted, right? Like, the Jordan Peterson type of fucking guys, the kind of guys that listen to Jordan Peterson and watch Joe Rogan, and like, I can
like
see
the Manosphere.
Yeah,
Cody Brown.
Like
from Sister Wives.
I can see like this whole like playing army shit and that kind of stuff, kind of pushing him, like Cody Brown and Sister Wives, right? Like, yeah.
I'm sorry, this is my other.
Well, no, because that's one of the things that I've been kind of. I mean, that's one of the things I see all the time, right? This whole cultural shift for like masculinity, right? Like, man up, bro. And I'm just like,
He-Man woman haters. It's
yeah,
tales all this time. Spanky and buckwheat and
like I said, I lived that life to the fullest, right? And I'm just like, you fucking idiots don't even know what you're talking about.
But even though he's a fucking idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about, I still thought he was being awfully generous. He's like, of course she's invited if she wants, but I mean, if not, I would be willing to set her up in a hotel. And I'd be like, hell yeah, 5 stars. I'm bringing all my girlfriends. We're going to the spa. He's paying for that too.
You're paying for the room service bill.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Like, done. Just don't break anything of mine. And apparently everything of hers is boxed up in her bedroom. So that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, and he's still rolling the dice out there, keeping his penis flute up on the fucking mantle and shit, right? Because that she's not afraid to have her friends go in there and start busting shit up.
Oh, and then we find out he's also reached like an all new level of paranoia with his white noise machine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I need one of those though for sleep. But you can just get the YouTube. I mean, you can get that on YouTube. You don't have. I've done it to fall asleep, but he wants full on nobody hearing.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't want it in his space. He wants it in their space.
Because
Would she say psychological
yeah,
warfare?
yeah, that made me laugh too. I was like, maybe he learned it at his other show. What is it called?
The
Special Ops.
The Special Ops, or the Special Forces, or whatever it was.
I don't know.
Learning torture techniques.
I guess I'm really in this weird tug of war space where I am seeing both sides. Like I for Sandoval, he's claiming he's paying all the rent and bills and whatnot, but he's responsible for half because they bought that house together. It kills me to take his side, but yeah, it would suck to have to ask permission to have a party.
Mm.
But Ariana pays half the bills or is responsible for half the bills, and she doesn't want a party going on until early morning hours.
But is she paying the bills? Apparently not. So.
But then kick her out or take her to court, something. Like, I'm sure we'll see more, but I just don't know that that's the case. I don't know.
That must have been, yeah. You're going to have to tell me what you find out about that, because I'm sure there's going to be somebody that goes out and researches all these kinds of things, right?
They talk about it a little bit on the after show, but it made me more confused. It raised more questions than answers. That's why I told you to watch the after show, and hopefully. But
oh yeah,
we'll get to it.
There's like an after show. How long is the after show? 22
minutes.
Wait till it's like.
And then the cast talks about what's going on.
Wow, that's like that's like a whole lot of extra content.
Oh yeah, and then you got Watch What Happens Live with. You are just now learning about the whole Bravo universe. You may have been listening to this in the background.
Oh yeah.
But you have no idea how layered we can get. They even have Bravo Con, which if the tickets weren't so much, I would be there in a heartbeat. It'd be so much fun because I do watch the Housewives and the Below Decks and the Summer House, Winter House. Whatever they'll put on, I will watch. I may jump ship, but I will watch.
Yeah, see, I just suffer in the cesspool of the Star Wars fandom. So.
Oh gosh, that's a lot too, I would imagine.
Not as much as you would think. Mainly, it's a bunch of idiots arguing over, the prequels and the sequels, and everybody's got their trilogy that they're backing, and that's the best. But it's pretty unanimous that the sequels suck.
I'm sorry, I can't elaborate just because you know me. I'm not a fan of any. I did like the prequels.
But we went to The Force Awakens together.
And I did not like that.
Was it in 3D? Did we see it in 3D?
We saw one of them in 3D.
I think it was The Force Awakens in 3D. That's the only one I saw in the theater.
I fell asleep.
I saw Star Killer Base and I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm not going to watch any more of this.
Well, and then that one guy came back to life that you said was impossible to be dead. Or alive.
Oh, yeah.
Palpatine.
I think the second one we might have streamed. And then the third one, the final one, you know how I watched it?
Was there a Palpatine, though?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
Yeah, here's how... Okay, so... Let me just say this one thing and then we'll move on, just in case there's any other nerds out there. But, okay, so here's how I watched the trilogy, the sequel trilogy. You and I went to the movie theater and watched The Force Awakens in 3D. I'm pretty sure we did that.
We did.
Okay. The second one, we waited for it to come out streaming. You know how I watched the third one? I pirated a Chinese like somebody videotaping the movie screen, Chinese theater version, like with Chinese subtitles and shit on it. That's how I watched the third one. And I got to the part where they were like, "It's Palpatine all along," and I just turned it off and walked away. And
You just confessed to a crime
yeah, well, sue me.
on a recording. No, because what's
The file, no, somebody shared it with me. I didn't share it with them.
oh,
And besides,
whatever.
they got bigger fish to fry than me, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna lose any sleep over somebody watching a pirated shitty movie,
They might.
except for Lars Ulrich.
I'm
Okay.
not even gonna ask who that is. Okay, so we leave Tom and Ariana's and head over to Villa Rosa, where Lisa is getting her hair, brushed through?
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about closing Pump, and I think they're pretty much setting this future scene.
What's Pump?
Oh, Pump. I kind of just
See,
never
I
made it
caught the nostalgia vibe, so I was like, I better ask about that.
Okay, so the way I understand it, there's, I don't know if it's a block or a couple block radius, but it's Lisa and Ken okay, so Sur is still open. They opened Pump while Vanderpump Rules was already, it was like in their second season. And so we got to watch them open, as scans and
Because what
whatnot.
she say, 10 years, I think, right? It had been open.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they probably closed during the pandemic. Not close, but I guess everybody had to close their doors, but then open. But anyway, and then there's Tom Tom. I'm sure I'm missing. Oh, there was Villa Blanca. That's closed, but they were all right there. So, Pump was their gay bar and club. So it was just really fun watching her open it because, as you can see, she loves to create an ambiance. And I gotta admit, I like her taste. I do. Those trees growing through the bar and that's it was pretty. It was pretty. But I heard that Pump was one of their more popular ones. A lot of people liked going there more than Sir, but I don't know if they had a full menu. They must have, because they were talking about
gay bars are more fun.
Yeah.
Probably.
I would think. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever. We're in Montana. I don't even know if we have. I think we just have bars. We don't even have clubs. I went to ASU, so I've been to
like
clubs.
Bozeman and Missoula, the college towns do,
Yeah.
Like Missoula with Ambets was like the sort of like the gay bar, and then the only time I'd ever gone to one was in the night before I left for Saudi Arabia. Because it was the only place, I had a fake ID, and it was the only place that would accept it. And I had a great time. I even had like a guy who's like, "Hey, let me buy you a drink." I'm like, "Sure, well, fuck, I'm not going to turn away a free drink."
Well, especially.
But it was
when
funny.
You're underage.
But it's funny too because it was like I was in the army, and like there were so many active duty army people in there. Like, this is the don't ask, don't tell army. Right. Like, so off duty, everybody was able to go out and do whatever the fuck they wanted off post. Right. So like if you went to a gay bar, they couldn't ask you about it. You couldn't tell them about it. Right.
Well, what about that movie? Remember in G.I. Jane when they wanted Jane to fail?
Mm-hmm.
And so they got pictures of her hugging a female.
Right. She's a lesbian.
But she's not. She wasn't. She was just friends with. But then they were trying to get. But is the seals a. Do you have a different standard, or do they have a different set of rules? Because that was during Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yeah, I don't know, because the SEALs of the Navy, I don't really know anything about them. So.
Well, what I just thought Don't Ask, Don't Tell covered all military. I'm really illiterate when it comes to military.
Well, and as far as those policies go, like, I didn't really know much about any of that stuff, right? I knew how to turn wrenches on a tank and, blow stuff up. Like, I didn't think too much about.
You were a white male, and they were like, "Come on, buddy."
Oh yeah, I just went and did I followed orders. I did what I was supposed to do and did my time and got the hell out of there.
Okay, on to better things. And that would be DJ James Kennedy and Allie. I just love both of them. I love them together. I love them independently. I'm a fan. And DJ James Kennedy has not always been a good guy. We talked about this, but now I don't know. He's very, very endearing.
That's twice Schwartz has given him a plant now.
Wait, we're not there.
Oh, sorry.
No, this is just when they're walking.
Oh, when they're walking. Okay.
And they're talking about getting a dog.
Oh, okay.
And do you know? Because
my notes are confused.
To me, this is. I have my producer hat on. I should probably just watch it as a viewer, but I just know this one thing because it's been talked about. And that's Graham, the dog that James bought for Raquel when they were together. Do you know the story behind Graham? Okay, well, this feels like they're setting it up for the return of Graham Cracker. It's so cute. James calls him Graham Cracker. Oh my gosh. Anyway, when Rachel checked herself into that mental rehab, her parents took Graham. And I think James wanted Graham back, and Rachel was like, absolutely not. And so the parents took Graham, and Graham viciously attacked the mom and took a chunk out of one of her fingers. So they rehomed him. The person they gave him to, well, he went first. I think he went. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have details.
Is this a Cha-Cha story?
No. He lives, but anyway, eventually he makes it back to Lisa Vanderpump's dog rescue place. Lisa Vanderpump takes him on. He's too wild for her, so she calls James and says, "Hey James, guess what? Graham is back." So James has Graham back, and James has enrolled him into behavioral school, while Raquel is saying that's the reason I didn't give him to James in the first place, is because he gets him all riled up. That's why he's a bad dog. And I'm like, well, at least James is doing the right thing now, and he's in behavioral school. But anyway, I think we're talking about Graham Cracker a lot because he gets him back. Otherwise, I don't think they would leave it sad.
No, that's what I mean. Like the Cha-Cha story, not the unfortunate ending, but the return.
Oh
story,
yeah,
right?
we did.
Like we put that damn dog on a plane, and he came back to us.
Yeah, I know he loved us.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't think they really spoke about anything else except for pets. So let's go back to Ariana and Tom's, where Tom is talking about how he's lost a lot of friends, and so the friends that he does have, he's going to keep super close. And I had to laugh because enter his super close paid friend, Jason.
Paid friend? What do you mean paid friend?
Like, they're friends because he's the manager of the band and Tom's podcast. And I mean, I'm sure they've become friends, but he's still getting paid.
He's sort of like his business manager?
Still getting paid. Probably gets paid more than Anne. Yeah, he's the business manager. And, well, I think he does, like, he sets up the dates and probably has to deal with, oh my gosh, Tom's ego. But, like, he probably has to get a writer and all those things and all of Tom's demands and this, that, and the other. He probably has to give to the venues, and oh man. So yeah, no, I don't know.
But isn't that if you go to Hollywood with the intention of becoming like some sort of talent manager, like that's kind of baked into it, right? Like you're looking to kind of attach yourself to, some cocky, arrogant prick that's going to go make the big bucks, and you're going to leech off of them. I mean, not going to leech off of them, you know what I mean? But you're going to be the one that's making,
like Randall.
Yeah,
and
you're going to
Marky
fucking
Mark.
keep them out of jail and make sure that they're paying their taxes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Sign, here's what this contract says. Wait, put the drugs down. Here's what the contract says.
Yeah. But anyway, the one thing that caught me off guard was when Tom said that he was like, I think I'm still in love with Rachel. Because through this whole entire thing, I never got the vibe that he was in love with her. Not even in the end or last season finale when he told her, I love you. I just thought they were a hookup.
Okay, well, what vibe did you get this time when he said it?
I guess I think he is trying to look like a good guy to the audience. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but I really don't. Maybe he was in love with her.
What do you think?
What do
quit
I think?
Quit telling me what you think Tom thinks. What do you think?
My intuition
Judge his
is
character.
he's full of shit.
Okay.
He's full of shit.
That was mine too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You did pick up on that? Yeah.
No, right? Like everything with him is so fucking staged, man. It's just like he uses this euphemism of the scandal, right? Like he won't even say my affair. It's the scandal. It's like it's not just him. We're all involved in this. It's not just my affair. It's the scandal. You guys the scandalous fans that are pissed off at me, and scandalous Ariana, who was, so overbearing I had to go run to the arms of another woman who, by my dad, I still love.
I know.
Which I'm pretty sure they're not even in contact. I swear to God, I'm not getting that vibe at all. So.
Well, if they were, they wouldn't need Anne.
Mm-hmm. No, not him and Ariana. I'm talking about him and Rachel, Raquel.
No, that's because she did the healthy thing and blocked him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that she was being immature. But the one thing I will agree with this man on, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I did listen to his recap of this episode, and so I can't remember if he said it on the episode or if he said it on his podcast. Something about Rachel not if you don't want to be in the drama, don't be in the drama, referring to her podcast. And I agree with that.
Mhm.
Like, she may as well have come back to Vanderpump Rules
Right.
and made a lot of money. I think she could have negotiated for just about anything. She probably could have been making what Sandoval's making. And
Yeah.
she hasn't been on
Well, I
nearly
mean,
as long.
if it's a career move, right? It's a gamble.
Oh, and she lost, I think.
I mean, maybe everybody's still talking about her. She's obviously, people are listening to her podcast, but she's still on the periphery of that show because
And
I'm
her
watching
mental
this.
health is
Yeah.
probably, and I mean,
I'm watching this show and I'm seeing a thing that's coming to an end.
yeah.
You know,
No, they really they thought season 10 was going to be, well, I can't remember which one of them said they were surprised to get a season 10.
I think I guess not having watched the show, but just seeing the reaction from the whole Scandival thing, my intuition is that a lot of people followed that show because of Tom and Ariana's relationship. And when that broke apart, kind of a lot of, I think, sort of.
I don't know. I think they've all had a season. That's what makes this so great. And some of it does feel manufactured, but it's manufactured on top of reality, right? But these people really have exposed their whole selves. And I think the Tom and Ariana thing, I don't know why that hit so hard, because I think it's, yeah, I'm not sure why. And maybe it's because it was just shocking. With Schwartz and Katie, nobody really took Katie's side as much. And I think a lot of that stems from everyone knew. It wasn't shocking. Everyone knew that Schwartz was a makeout slut. There were always rumors of him cheating and whatnot. And so I don't know. I can't get too into the minutia of why Scandival was so big, but it was. But anyway, Jason and Sandy are talking about the party, and Jason didn't have that. He was the one that said, "Why don't you ask her if you can just party till midnight or party till a certain hour and that be it?" And so, there goes Anne again. And then Tom's like, no, actually word it, we are going to have. And she's like, oh, sorry, already sent. Fast thumbs. That was so fun. Oops, sorry. Already sent.
Yeah, I think that is a little bit, that's getting a little pushy there, right? This is kind of like, I want you to use your commanding voice. Like, oh, no.
No.
You send that fucking text, buddy.
Oh, gosh. And so then, did you have anything else while we're still at Tom and Ariana?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, then Lala and Ariana meet up for juice, which must be, gosh, I want to, if that's what LA is, that's what I want. I just want beautiful weather, walking down the street, let's grab a green juice and visit for a little bit. But I want to be rich and live in LA. So I guess I have to, if I'm going to live in LA, I want to have money to enjoy it. I don't know if it'd be as fun if,
yeah,
because it looks like an expensive place.
The thing I hate about cities is they're so fucking exhausting, man. Like to get anywhere.
But if you live there though, and then you could live close to your stuff and you could just walk.
Well, I guess.
Or, you wouldn't really have to make much of an effort. But then you always hear people complaining about being in traffic for hours.
But I always picture that like on the freeway, right? Like in LA. Like New York, it's always in the city, right? Just the streets jam packed with freaking taxi cabs, right? And in New York, when you think about traffic, it's like
when I think
gridlock on the interstate, right? Like on the freeway.
Yeah, when I think of New York, I think of bumper to bumper yellow taxi cabs because nobody really owns cars. Well, now with the Uber, it probably is a lot different.
Plus it always makes a great shot in like action movies when some superheroes just ripping up the street and these taxi cabs are just flying in.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I had big dreams. I couldn't wait for my first taxi cab ride ever. And so I think I was 12 and it was at the airport, and it was just like, ooh, look at me. And it wasn't even in a yellow one.
I would never got to ride in a yellow taxi cab.
Me either. They're always
like freaking Buick Regals and shit like that.
Yeah, white or gray. Anyway, they were talking, and Ariana tells Lala about how Tom wants the party and how she said no. Lala reacted similar to myself. Lala and I had the same reaction. We're like, but it's his house. How did you react?
I guess I don't know how.
Because after Ariana came back with her reasoning, I was like, yeah, don't make it easy on him. And when you think about it, he's offering her 3.5, which is only like $1 million more than they paid for it. I'm sure after closing, Ariana's gonna come out even and nothing to live in? I mean, when you come down to the brass taxes, I don't think what he's offering her is as generous as he's making it sound. But I mean, he better be keeping receipts if he's going to be making allegations that she hasn't paid anything in 8 months.
I guess my whole thing is just kind of like I'm not sympathetic to Tom at all.
Right.
And so...
Which surprises me because you usually see things. I'm seeing things on both sides, and we've switched roles somehow.
No, I think it's because I can't stand cheaters.
Neither can I.
But I don't necessarily look at this.
Don't get me wrong, Tom would never be my friend. I would never trust Tom to have... I would trust Tom maybe to pick me up from the airport.
I don't know, I guess...
In Montana, not LAX.
I just find the whole situation so cringy that... And I get it, it's his birthday. And I suppose from that perspective, okay, it's your birthday, have a party, like
shared house,
right? But I think at some point though,
and he offered her a nice hotel.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on in the background, right? But I would think like at some point, like this has got to get dealt with. You can't sit there and have a freaking standoff over this house for your whole life.
Well, I'm just worried that Dan is gonna get upset and just be like, dude, I'm hot, I'm single, I got plenty of women who aren't dealing with this shit. I didn't, because I like Danny Boy. I like him a lot.
Was he ever on the show?
Dan?
Yeah.
No, and so I don't know if I trust him yet. But so
Yeah,
far I like him.
I don't even, I guess, don't know, consider him that big of a.
They're still together in real time.
Are
And they
then,
have a social media presence.
Okay,
and
wait.
she's doing, did you know she's.
Is Ariana and Tom still living in that house together?
Yeah, but she's in New York a lot because she's playing Roxy Hart in Chicago on Broadway.
Is that Renee Zellweger?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen it. But
she sings.
Yeah, and dances and performs
Right.
because that's what she went to like she was asked to be on Vanderpump Rules. Sheena wanted her to be on the show the first season so she wouldn't be alone because all the girls ganged up on Shishu. And so, but Ariana said no. Well, being on reality TV will kill my legitimate career. And then, why not? So second season, here we go.
Right.
And yeah, that so
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
She came in and wrecked a happy home.
But I don't. You think no? Ariana?
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say no. Their home was not happy, and it was already wrecked. And
no, I think we covered that last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is one of the things that I don't know if it should be a red flag or not. But Dan is 40, never been married. The no kids isn't a red flag, but he's never been married. They don't say how many serious relationships has he been in. Like, does 40 and never been married mean he can't be in he doesn't like commitment? Or and
does
I'm
it
not
mean
saying
he was just
people
focused
need
on
to
his
get
career?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't think that you should have to be married to be a loyal person.
How old was I when we got married? 33?
Right, that's what I mean. I don't think that it's necessary. I don't think it means that he can't commit. Maybe it means he's made smart decisions and he hasn't married the wrong one. So, I mean, never married, never divorced. So, I mean, we're going to have to see a lot more of him because I watched 12 years of Sandoval and was completely blindsided. And, that made Lala's nipples hard. So, there you go. On to, okay, here we have...
Okay, but let me just say one thing, and I'm in this, and we can cut this later on if what I'm going to say is going to be like too insensitive, but I feel like, how is Lala not exactly in a trailer park?
Oh, she's Lauren from Utah. She wanted to grow up in a trailer.
Okay,
and so did many of my close friends.
Okay, and I didn't grow up in a trailer park, but I did live in a trailer for the first 10 years of my life anyways. So yeah. I'm not necessarily knocking
the stereotype.
I definitely can get the so you're not around here. You're not from around here vibe.
Did I ever tell you when I don't remember which, I'm going to go back and find out what season this is, but she was telling people, whether she believes it or I don't know if she believed it or not, but she was telling people that she was who Tupac reincarnated. And I was like, oh my God, I bet Tupac is so pissed to be this white woman from Utah.
But I wonder if I bet you she was all like Cholo style back in the 90s, right?
This is why Lala is sober now.
I could see her with like a high ponytail and like Junko jeans and shit in high school, right? Like
no, during the season.
hardly any eyebrows.
Okay, she didn't do that, but like she'd had the ponytail. But so did well, gosh, Sheena is still rocking that. Okay, but anyway, we get Ken and Lisa partying the LGBTQ plus C's at Pump. And the music, I got this one. This song, it's about to go off. It's about to go off. Okay, anyway. Lisa gives a speech.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me want to come back as a beautiful, wealthy British woman in my next life. Like, she's just there, almost 60, with her boobs just out and this just bright pink hat. And that's her normal. People are just like, this is Lisa Vanderpump, and I love it. It gives me life. It makes me happy. I just love her. I like her in small doses like that, and she always knows how to give a speech. She likes to be florally with her language, and these are my children, and these people, she always tells everyone how much she loves them, but it's kind of like, and you love me. But yeah, I do love her. But yeah, we also saw a flashback, and it's so hilarious to see the full circle moment, because in that scene, because Katie was begging Lisa, please give Schwartz a job, because Katie needed him to have some income. This was back when they weren't making a lot of money from Vanderpump Rules, so they actually had to work at her restaurants, which made it really interesting.
The guy looking for a mom.
Well, yeah, or maybe not looking for one, but you get the people pleaser. I hate that word. I'm kind of a Schwartz. But yeah, what did you think about that scene?
Well, like I said, I wasn't into the nostalgia of the Pump part, right? Like I didn't really catch that. So, just Lisa and Schwartz's conversation, where I think, I can't remember exactly what she said. I didn't write it down, but I just remembered I disagreed with her. I think it was something about how she'd said Tom can't keep blaming Tom for the success, or Tom and Sandy's
the failure.
Yeah. And I totally disagreed.
Don't you remember I told you before we even started podcasting, I would tell you that for some weird reason, Lisa always takes Sandy's side.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to retire, ride or die, but if there's ever an applicable, it's that. It's Lisa. She will defend him to Ariana.
Well, and I guess that's when I kind of
I'm
I
so
I
happy
I
you
really
saw
like, yeah,
that.
like Lisa's not fully objective in this for sure, because if she doesn't realize that the reason why they have that place is based off of the success of the show
Oh yeah,
and Tom's spotless image, right?
but like, but just on a human level,
Mm-hmm.
not even talking about the show. I don't know you personally, but I know in my personal life, there have been people that I have just been drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
And I will defend them to the end for no reason. I have no idea why I choose the people that I choose, and why I will let them off. And I mean, I'm in my personal life. Sometimes you just you talk about your friends that you met in Korea, like those people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's a little bit of that with Lisa too. There's just an unexplainable, this is one of my people. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I mean,
But yeah,
I get
and
that, but I
he is a
mean,
cash cow for
yeah,
her
but I
too.
mean, I get that, but I mean, like I said, the whole concept of Tom and Sandy's is kind of built off of
Oh, that photo.
Sandoval's ethos. You know what I mean? And he went and ate shit on national television in front of everybody, and he did nothing to try to clean it up. And so, from just that a bit, from like, and I'm not trying. I'm to this away from the emotional aspect of his affair, right? But like, just actually saying, look, like from a business perspective, like take some fucking responsibility, and for
Yeah.
and for Lisa to just completely be blind to that, I guess was quite shocking.
Okay, so from this point on, I want you to track the whole thing that I was telling you last week, what on Watch What Crappens with Ben and Ronnie, when they say that Lisa likes a broken bird.
Mm-hmm.
Like track that, because Sandoval right now is the broken bird. He isn't even allowed in his own bar.
Well, yeah, and I guess you kind of
So,
saw that. I think with was it last must have been some stuff from last season, but you saw it with her and James, right? Like,
when she get, oh
mm,
yeah, she is James's biggest apologist, and
mm,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
she's a mother figure to that one. Their relationship is, it's heartwarming, and she will give him the hard truth sometimes, but she's also
mm,
very soft. I don't know, I like it. But anyway, this is when Schwartz and Lisa also sit down for a visit,
yeah,
right?
that's what I mean. That's when they were talking
Oh, okay. So yeah.
after the guy, because yeah, because she was like sitting there saying, you got to be more assertive and you got to stand up to Tom, you got to stand up for yourself, and then she gets in, I guess, was it must have been like a confessional where she was like, but he just can't blame Tom for the failure of the business, and it's like then you're
Oh,
misunderstanding why
yeah.
the business is successful.
Yeah, because during that whole interaction, I was thinking to myself, how many partners do they have? Because the only one I knew of for sure outside of Tom and Tom was this dude named Greg.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because he was on camera last year. And so I'm also wondering how many shares each person holds, because they they must outnumber however much Tom Sandoval has, because they're able to keep him out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also shocked that Schwartz said we, as in he had a part to play in the decision
Mm-hmm.
of, no, the door is closed. If he comes in, we're shutting down.
Well, that's because he's the voice of the big we behind him, right? Like he's the $500,000 guy, right? The big money behind him is one that's like
But that's
it's like
big
it's
money
like
to
yeah, it's like
Schwartz.
Steve, kind of catching me upstairs, by ourselves in the office. Not even the office, in the dark, dingy attic where they kept all the spice going. Phil, I need you to take care of this Bob problem for me. Right? Like, it's like that, right? Like, I'm the big money guy, but I don't do conflict. You go handle that.
Yeah.
He's Greg, right? Greg's going to be, I
Greg,
can
yeah.
fire people.
Yeah, because Lisa had a huge problem with Greg last year, because he would sit down and tell Tom and Tom the truth. Like, you guys need to stop fucking around and show up and work.
I was thinking of Greg from Secession, but
Oh, yeah.
right.
Gosh, oh,
He's got to go pull. He's the trigger man, right?
I loved Greg. I just loved Greg.
Yeah, we're keeping you out, Tom. By we, I mean
No, but yeah, and when you talk about how you were upset with what Lisa had said, and the reason I was upset was because I felt like Schwartz was finally inching his way, very slowly inching his way out of a codependent relationship he's been in for at least a decade and a half.
mm,
And Lisa's like, no, 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 no. You have to have pity on him. You still have to co-sign his bullshit, And it's just like,
yeah.
no. So, when everybody's on Tom Schwartz's case for, why are
Schwartz
you always
needs to go to
kissing?
Al-Anon.
I know. That's what I thought too, but then I thought, who am I to tell anyone to go to Al-Anon? But I thought it's not. It's I don't know. I don't know why people are as mad at Schwartz as they are, and I'm in the minority because I'm not as mad at Tom Schwartz as everyone else. If I were Ariana, yes, I would be. But if I were everybody else, I don't know. I'd be sympathetic to his plight. But he knows who Sandoval is at the same. I don't know. It's hard. It's so hard. And next is my favorite part. Good as Gold plays, and I am a happy woman. We're in the stew. We're in the stew. And Sheena is talking about something called Emo Night, which sounds like it'd be right up our alley. I would love it. Don't you
A
think?
little typo negative.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I mean, we. I
Some
think.
Trent Reznor.
I think our generation pretty much created the emo movement. It kind of came along with grunge.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
the goths.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson and the Nine Inch Nails fans.
Yeah,
I like the little Manson and Nine Inch Nails, but
yeah,
not very much.
Until you, oh God, Marilyn Manson. I don't even want to get into how problem. Is that who you were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's very problematic. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that back then. I'm just saying.
No, that's the thing. We didn't know.
The music was fine. Couldn't get into the aesthetic.
I couldn't get into any. I think, maybe it was the aesthetic, because you know me, I love horror and I love creepy, but he just freaked me out in a way that I did not, in an uncomfortable way. Maybe because he's real, because with movies...
Because he was a real creep.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was a real creep, so there was that too. So,
but anyway, this is the
vibes,
scene
man.
That after 12 years has completely turned me around and made me a Sheena fan. I love her. And I think Brock is a huge piece of that because he's so likable. Like he's just the happiest person I've ever. Don't you think? It is so positive,
Mm,
and I love seeing Sheena through his eyes. Like when she's singing the emo version of "Good as Gold," and she has a voice like mine, very nasally, and we're aware that we're not great singers,
mm.
but we'll belt it out and have a good time. And Brock loves that about her. He finds it sexy and he loves, oh God, I don't know. How did you feel?
Well, you know, it was interesting. That's for sure. I know nothing about Sheena's past music career, right? So,
Oh, but when they flashed back to that video,
mhm.
I completely forgot about that. That was so cringy.
Yeah,
As a matter of
that was
fact,
pretty
that
much
whole season
softcore
was.
porn for the most part, as far as
She
I could
dated
tell.
she dated that dude for a while too, and he worked at Sir. He was, yeah, I don't know. He was a model, but I never found him attractive. And yeah, it was too much, that video. And I'm not a prude, especially in my viewing, whatever, but it was just uncomfortable to watch. I don't know. She's a married woman now. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that whole season was cringy. They tried introducing a bunch of new characters that didn't work, I and Sheena, she was single but in a kind of a needy phase, and
Mhm.
so she wanted everyone to all the guys to want her, and I don't know, I it wasn't her best look. So this is a good look on her. I like her with Brock, but and I really, oh, it hurt me though to know that because of that video and the backlash she got from the video and her singing, it made her stop. Because from season one, she recorded a song, and then season two, she recorded a song. And I remember she was just gonna record a song because it was fun. And she enjoyed performing. And so when she stopped, it because of negative reviews, it made me sad to know that. I didn't know that. I thought she quit, because she was
Mhm.
aging out. I don't know. I guess I just assumed wrong.
Well, did you pay for her music?
No, and I never listened to it outside of the
Mhm.
episodes. I didn't. But I think I am gonna down. I would pay for Good as Gold. I'll throw a few shekels at Sheena. She's earned it.
Well, you do that because because I'm gonna go try it, listen to old Tom and the Extras or whatever. And
But are you gonna pay?
no, I'm gonna go and listen
I
to it on the internet.
if
He's
he
got an album, right?
I don't know if he has an album, but I'm sure you could find it on YouTube or something. But yeah, I'm sure somebody's uploaded a concert by now, something, if he hasn't.
So,
And
because I just want to get this right, he was on tour
uh-huh,
doing
he
cover songs.
uh-huh. He has an 11 or 12 piece band. He pays to practice.
He's the kind of guy that would go be great on a USO show.
Do they still have US?
Oh,
Explain to the younger audience what a
well, I mean, if you
USO.
guys aren't familiar with, with the military. The USO is just an organization that goes around and basically entertains the troops when they're overseas and whatever. Like there's a USO in most airports. A place where guys coming off the airplane can go and relax and chill out. Get picked up by recruiters and moved around, that sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
And so, anyways, but when I was in Korea, we used to get these USO shows. Like you'd see like on the movies, right? Like I think there's a USO show in Apocalypse Now, isn't there? Where like they actually get like attacked in the middle of it or something. Anyways.
Yeah, and that's where my first introduction to a USO.
Okay.
And so I always think of these older, well, they're probably not old ladies, but they looked like old ladies to me, but like in the bathing suits, almost like the Playboy bunny style, and then they would do the Rockefeller kick type things but that was like World War II or Korea. I don't know what war that would have been, but the pinup era, if you will.
Well, I've seen the USO shows, and like Bob Hope was like a USO.
Yeah, I think
right?
of Betty White.
Yeah. So, but anyways, my most memorable USO show was this couple, and the guy. So they were a cover band rock duo, right? And so they had like synthesizer where they'd loop some stuff. They had like a drum machine.
What kind of rock specifically?
Butt rock. This dude come in. Basically, it looked like a smaller version of Dog and his wife, right? Like
the bounty hunter.
Yeah, like they looked like that. And I remember, and he had the headset with the microphone that came around, right? And he had a guitar that didn't have a head on it at the neck, like one of those.
No.
Yeah. Total 80s guitar, right? So totally synthed up, right? Like these guys. And I just remember him going, "Yeah, we're like a 4-beer band," he said. So just stick with us. So,
you got to get 4 beers deep and then they get good. I like that.
So when I think of Tom and the most extras doing cover songs,
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I would go to a show if it was close by and under $25. I would go. I think it would be entertaining. I mean, to watch a 40-plus-year-old like or living his youth. Excuse me, I haven't gotten my voice completely back from whatever is going on.
I'm just saying that ain't, but in the end, I mean, I get it, but in the end, that ain't nothing but ninja scum, man.
We'll have to elaborate on that maybe if we do a Patreon or something. But then they also, after she's done performing, they all sit down and she brings up a term I'd never heard, which was postpartum OCD. I'd never heard it, but when she explained it, I felt it. But I forgot it because our oldest hasn't been Summer's age for 10 years. But I remember it was, do you think it was almost a year before we left her alone? Like, we didn't even leave her with family. Not because we didn't trust them, but like, what if something happened and we weren't there to save her? And it was real. And then when we finally did, I think we went out to eat and we were checking in all the time. We were talking about her the whole time.
Well,
and so what Sheena's going through, I mean, maybe she might be going through it. I don't know if she's going through it on a deeper, I think, but I did really relate hardcore to that.
Well, but when Piper was born too, I was in school, so I wasn't working at the time.
Yeah, and I wasn't doing anything else either. So my she was and I didn't have another child. All we had was Bud, and he was a pretty self-sufficient dog.
Yeah.
He didn't need much. And my brain was always fixated on that little girl and every single thing she needed.
I remember the first time that...
Is she the one you dropped?
No, that was Anthony. And he squirmed. And I didn't drop him, I caught him.
You did.
I mean, he kicked out of my arms and kind of flew up a good 6 inches.
He was the strongest little shit. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, but I just remember, because Piper, we were outside and she was, I can still picture in her that green John Deere zip
hoodie.
up and her little pink pants with her puffy little diaper kind of waddling around. And I ran into the house for something really fast. Like I was watching her out the window, right? And she was kind of out there by the rocks.
Right.
And I looked away for 2 seconds. I was probably like refilling my coffee cup or something. And I looked away for 2 seconds. When I looked again, I could not see her. And my heart just about exploded, man. I was like...
Yeah.
I almost went running through that back door.
Because we had a gate that she could reach on both ends. Like if she had turned around and went the other way.
She just walked behind the tree, so that was good. But but just for like that split second, it was like my whole world had just completely dropped.
And I mean, maybe this is good for new parents to hear, because I don't want to come off as a bad parent. But this did happen, and we were very, very aware of our child. But they go from not being able to move other than kicking their legs and arms like that in the air to full on rolling around. You and I were sitting there having a conversation, like we are right now. Bam! She rolled off the bed.
Oh yeah, onto the
ground.
Hardwood. Yeah.
Oh, I was waiting to hear a cry because I didn't want to look.
There was a good 3 or 4 seconds
where it was silent.
It was just dead silent. It was just like
the longest 3 or 4 seconds of my life. Oh my gosh! So it will happen. They're very resilient. But I mean, watch them. Don't try not to let that happen. But if it does, you're not a bad parent.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, they come walking up to you with an X-Acto knife with the pointy end up, going, "Dad, I don't think I should have this."
I remember.
No, I don't. I don't think you should either, sweetie. I'll go ahead and take that from you. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much.
But I did think that Brock was kind of being an asshole about it.
I did too, but he realized it. Did you see him realize it in the moment?
No.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
He apologized.
No.
And because they were all on Sheena's side, and that's where he reminded me a little of you. Because you and maybe that's why I didn't think he was being an asshole, is because I thought he was being trying to be a voice of reason. He was, in his way, trying to be like, she's okay, Sheena, you're a good mom. I don't even know why you're questioning it. It's obvious. That was his intent, but it was... No,
because I guess
and you're like that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm self-aware. I was like, he's kind of being an asshole. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, I do that all the time. Maybe I'm kind of an asshole. And then I think to myself, no, he's being an asshole and I'm a voice of reason.
Okay. Potato, tomato. Okay. But anyway, looking back.
Oh, yeah, that's what's my note says here. Oh, Jess is Sheena.
Oh, I'm going to take... last season I would have slapped you. This one I'm gonna say thank you.
All right.
But
I'm pretty sure I meant that as a compliment. I can't remember what I
I'll
was
take
thinking
it
about
as
writing
one.
down.
And I thought you and Brock were very much alike in this. And if I ever get the chance to talk to Sheena, I would tell her, if she isn't already through this, I would tell her, you are going to get through this. So much so you won't even remember it, because I completely forgot about being in that headspace until this episode. And I didn't go to therapy or anything like that, although gosh, I really really wish I had, especially after
Well,
the second one. I think it would have done a lot of good, and I'm glad she is.
good thing you had a wise husband to lean on.
But a wise husband is probably no replacement for a good therapist.
Probably
unless you are one, but I don't think families should seek treatment from family. I think it would be incredibly hard to be partnered with a therapist. I think I would constantly feel judged. And I think if I were a therapist, I would constantly wonder if people were feeling judged by me, because they probably are. But I mean, I wouldn't want them to feel that way. Anyway, this is where the Toms meet up.
Okay.
And I'm going to tread lightly, because I never want to shit on anybody's sobriety. But I'm calling BS on Tom's reasoning for sobriety. He might be sober. I don't know. But I mean, what was it? 2:00 in the daytime? Bravo for being sober. But I don't believe it's because of Rachel. If anything, he just got done doing this special ops.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I was thinking
and
too.
Where he had to be sober.
But
the let's be sober together, that also makes me wonder, was Rachel still considering coming back into the fold?
I guess.
Because otherwise, why would he need to bring her up, other than to make us like him?
Well, I guess we have to, remember that at this point in time.
Oh, yeah, he's still in love with her.
Well, he's still in love with her, but remember, they're still sending each other shit.
That's right.
I guess. And I mean, but
yeah,
I don't buy it. For fuck's sake, I wouldn't be surprised if Tom sent himself a lightning bolt postcard and fucking wrote Raquel's name on it, right? He's using her for a prop. That's what I feel like.
No, but on her podcast, she did admit to that. And anyway, the Toms start talking about the special forces. Set the scene.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're talking about the special forces. And then I think Tom, mentions like, oh, yeah, I guess they put you through hell. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then, Schwartz is like, well, I'd rather would have been doing that than, dealing with the bar. And, Tom's like, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. And then kind of went into that. But anytime the words "I'm sorry" come out of Tom Sandoval's mouth, it just falls flat every single time. And like, this.
Yeah.
Because when Schwartz was telling him, like, it feels like you don't give a shit. Like, it feels like he absolutely does not give a shit. Like, he's
right.
It looks to me like Sandoval's totally over it. He's over all of it.
Oh, and like, he doesn't even care what he's put this man through.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's over it. He's done. He's just like, I just want everybody to move on. Basically, he's like, just fucking move on.
Yeah.
Like, get over, like, I just,
Yeah. And it's I was I was just sitting there at the end of it thinking they fight like a married couple.
Mm-hmm.
Schwartz is the battered wife.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom looks at him with through his eyelashes. Are you gonna stick with me? And to
Mm-hmm.
myself I thought they are the definition of codependency. But this
Mm-hmm.
is the first time I've seen Sandy be a little needy towards Schwartz with that.
Right.
Are you gonna stick with me? Like I've never
Mm.
heard him.
I'll never do it again.
That sounded real.
Mm.
Not the I'm sorry or anything,
Mm.
but the he he was unsure. Like I think that's the first time Schwartz has ever. I don't know if he put a foot down, but he put a toe. You know, and I mean, to his credit, he closed the doors,
Mm-hmm.
and Sandoval was like, "Oh, they should open the doors. People would love that." He still thinks people love him. I'm sure that he does have people who do, but I mean, he thinks he's the solution. He's not realizing who's the problem.
Right.
But that goes to your point, how he's been blaming everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he's. No, that's addict behavior too, right? Like I mean, I know people like, the stuff that comes out of Tom's mouth comes out of other people's mouth that I know,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Definitely.
And there's no accountability, and there's no growth. There's no, like, realization that, oh, I have a role to play in what's been going on in my life.
But what's a trip about this is he has the luxury of going back and watching himself and being like, oh my gosh, I am that person. I'm gonna do what Rachel's doing and go work on myself. But no, he doubles down and he's still blaming
'Cause
other
I
people.
don't have a problem, you have a problem.
Yeah, but I think even if I were in that mindset, if I were to watch myself with that mindset, I would say, whoa, Jess, this is a little much. Reel it in.
Yeah,
and
but
I would course correct. And I would truly be sorry.
I guarantee you that Sandoval will watch himself be a complete fucking worm with a mustache and say to himself, well, they sure did a shitty job of editing.
Oh, he's still trying to tell people he wasn't in the wrong for what happened on the Nick Vile podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't even have the benefit of going back and re-seeing it because he doesn't see it. What he sees is somebody who's edited something to make him look bad.
True.
Right? Like, I mean, I've just spent since when? Probably the last 8 years of my life following American politics and Donald Trump. Like, I know when somebody.
No, it's been more than 8 years.
Okay, well, it's been a long freaking time. And I know, somebody who will stand up there and go, what you are seeing is not what's really happening.
As it's happening.
As it's happening.
I know.
And believe it.
It's so
right?
mind-boggling.
And so, like, I see that kind of connection. And so when they talk about, a lot of psychiatrists have come back and talk about our former president and talk about how he has narcissistic tendencies.
Right.
Right. And, kind of armchairing it, but going, I'm an expert who's doing the armchairing. Right?
If there's a checklist for this disorder,
right.
he ticks off most of these
right
boxes.
And it's almost you can see the same thought process as you're being caught in crimes or you're being caught in these compromised positions, and it's saying, You are not, that is not what's happening.
It's like catching someone like Anthony,
Yeah, hand in the cookie jar.
second grader.
Yeah.
You know, as he takes more accountability than Sandoval, but no, it's like it's when they were little. Did you take more cookies or something than I said you could? And I know they did, or whatever. I saw you do this. No, like you will catch them. I saw you. No, you didn't. Piper did it. No, Piper isn't even here. You know, it's something like that. But like watching his wheels turn is fascinating.
Do you want to watch his wheels turn? Call him in here right now and ask him about that damn tablet.
Oh, and still to this day, that kid will die on that hill. I know
I don't know what happened, but man, for those of you who don't know, we bought our son a Kindle, and 3 weeks into having that Kindle, it just vanished, and he has no idea what happened. His sister has no idea what happened. His cousins have no idea what happened. So I'm guessing.
But this is the first time we haven't been able to track it, you know, through your computer. It usually sends a signal to it or nothing. And this kid is OCD. He knows where everything is. He remembers everything, but that's enough digression. But okay, so now we meet Tori. And okay, so did you watch the teaser last week for what's to come this season?
Yeah, probably.
Is she the one that starts having an affair with Tom and Katie or she starts dating Tom and Katie at the same time?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I didn't notice all that.
Because there's a girl with black hair and pink streaks that says, I can't believe I'm having an affair with an ex-married couple. And so that should be fun. I'm just wondering if she's, like, this is kind of our first meeting of her. She's the one that's going to be nannying for Summer Moon. The one that Sheena feels comfortable starting with.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the scene where Sheena's talking about her OCD.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we already covered that. Sorry.
Well, no, that's good because now my notes make more sense. So perfect.
Okay, now you might have more to comment, but you remembered though.
Yeah, the Jess is Sheena. I wrote it down.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so we don't need to. We already did talk about that, except for the Tori part. I think, unless pink streaks were like in fashion at this time, I think anything goes though. So I don't
know. Our kids like to dye their hair all the time.
I know, but this is a very specific. We'll see.
Okay.
We will see. And we get more Allie and James. Okay, so they're waiting for Tishwa to come over, and he does. And the first thing I start to think, we need friends who bring us plants. Because Schwartz is always and they're nice plants.
Oh yeah, I can say this again. This is twice now that Schwartz has brought James a plant.
Yeah, I think it's his new thing.
Right.
That's what I was.
But I haven't seen him bring anybody else a plant.
No, but we saw him watering plants in his apartment. But I don't know. I think it's his. I think I should start. I think I need plants because I haven't seen Schwartz this healthy.
I think you should too because I've killed like 2 or 3 that we've gotten so far. So
what? Even my beautiful Mother's Day? That one keeps coming. It's like it dies and then another shoot will come. Anyway, Schwartz, bring us a plant. We'd love to have you on. But anyway, my second thought was astrology business. Can we please move to California? This is so up my alley.
Yeah, but
tell me this wouldn't be perfect for me. This is my form of cyber stalking. I find out people's birth dates and where they were born, and I will read their natal charts when I have insomnia, which is almost nightly. Like, if I don't know somebody very well and I want to know something about them, I will go plug in their birth dates, find out their sun, moon, and rising sign, and then get to know them a little better. I'll be like, oh, that's why she's such a bitch. You know, I love doing that. But I'm like, but when it turns out they're a sign that I wish I emulated, I'm like, oh, they're likable.
You get a little star envy, do you?
Yes, star envy. That's such a good. I don't know if anybody else experiences that, but I do, because I'm a Pisces, and as my sun sign, and I could not identify with a sign more. I am a sensitive little fish.
Well, my thought is that.
But I'm also into astrology.
The astrology business is probably, the astrology market in California is probably a little oversaturated. I think you're situated pretty well right where you're at. You're going to be the first one to break that ground.
Yeah, but I think people around here are more likely to go by the Farmer's Almanac than astrology. Well, I guess if you're going to do
we got a crazy woman right around the corner over there that'll give you a tarot reading and sell you.
Don't call her crazy. Call her intuitive, if anything. Or is she? Do you have a diagnosis for
Wolfie
her,
baby?
Dr. Phil? What?
Wolfie baby?
Oh, Wolfie baby's mom.
Yeah. So, wow. I mean, we have, she does tarot readings over there.
She was telling the kids that I'm on drugs because I vape weed.
And she's got a dispensary sticker on the back of her car. That's not sus, as the kids say. All right, let's move on.
Okay, let's hope Wolfie baby's mom doesn't listen to this podcast.
Okay. Where do we go from here?
Okay, we're with Allie, DJ Kennedy, Tom, the plants, the astrology business. Okay, and yeah, no, I'm not even kidding about the birth chart thing. I have done people's birth charts to learn more about them. And did you know that you, Tony, and I all share the same moon sign?
All right.
Piper is a triple Capricorn.
What does that even mean?
Capricorns and Aries are two of the most stubborn and so her sun sign, her moon sign, and her rising sign, and probably I'll have to look at all of her houses and whatnot, but
I'm not stubborn.
What?
No, I don't see that at all. I feel like I'm quite flexible.
I'm glad you see it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And I'm not going to change my mind.
Anyway, Sandoval texts DJ JK. And so I guess James is going to the party. But he's bringing eggs.
Well, I think he was still kind of undecided at the end of it.
But if you know James, you know he's going. And he's bringing eggs. Remember? And then we cut to Sandoval's house, and Anne has to set up the party. Did you notice what Sandoval said? Looks great. Reminds me of a shower. Like a baby shower. So I don't know if that's intentional for like his 40s. It's supposed to be a baby shower or like, I don't know, but.
All right. And then
We
go
pretty
to
much see everybody we just get a bunch of B-roll of everyone getting ready and James and then we're in the car with James and Allie, I think. Right? On the way to Sandoval's.
Is this before Emo Fest? Which I guess they really didn't show.
Yeah, didn't. I kind of skipped over that because they just showed up.
They showed up, said you were cool last year, and kind of went. So whatever, yeah.
Well,
they're like, we're gonna have a bunch of copyrighted music going on here, so please get your cameras the fuck on out.
Well, first, doesn't everyone arrive at Tom's?
Yeah, I think so.
And
I'm pretty sure he's banging that blonde.
Billy Lee.
Is that Tom?
Which Tom?
Sandoval.
Sandoval?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's been rumors of he and Billy Lee hooking up, but I don't know. And Billy Lee has
look at her face when they hug.
Well, she was friends with both Tom and Ariana, but after Scandival broke, I think she's more friends with Tom. She's the first trans person we have on BPR, and I can't remember if she was a main character for 1 or 2 seasons, but we never know for sure. Like, any speculation of them hooking up, Billy Lee and Tom, has been like through social media. It hasn't, I don't think it's ever been brought on to the show as of yet. But I just noticed again the mention of no drinking. It's like, let's take a drink every time we say we're not drinking or hear the word non-alcoholic. And we're not drinking, but here are some shroom chocolates.
Yeah. Well, and so it's kind of like this. See, I am a better person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm working on my issue. But it's like, dude, that's not your issue. That's not the issue. Nobody gives a fuck what you're drinking.
No, and it was such a sad sight to see because Tom and Ariana used to have the best parties. You know, there was always music and people. Everyone was happy and there were food. And, well, sometimes there were fights, but I mean, it was a scene. It was like, and this just looked so wah wah. I don't know. Did it make you sad?
Oh, yeah.
If that were a party.
So far,
I didn't recognize anyone. So I wonder if everybody was hired. Like, if Tom had to hire friends. I know he hires band members to practice.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. Other than other than James, they're going, who the fuck are these people? Right? You see Tom with the who the fuck are these people, and you see Tom with Anne, and that's it. Well, you don't see, and except for one scene with Schwartz. Other than that, Tom doesn't have anybody.
And I don't want to sound racist by saying, did you notice the Asian man? But did you notice the Asian man?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's a famous jeweler, and he and Tom are pretty tight.
He's the guy that did the tiger.
Kyle Chan, yeah.
They did the little tiger thing and all that shit.
Yeah.
Thailand,
yeah.
And went.
And so I'm wondering if we're gonna see a lot of him because one of my little theories, I don't know, I'm probably way off base, but after watching this episode, I was wondering, because Tom was talking about how he's like super broke. right? Like negative bank account. But he has enough to pay for a personal assistant. So my little brain's thinking, I wonder if Bravo is paying Anne so somebody can film with Tom. Because the only other people we have are Lisa and Tishwa for now. And I mean, he can't even text Ariana. So I don't know. I mean, that's probably not, I don't know. But I don't know. It's funny because a lot of those people I've never seen before. And the mood was just such a downer. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it didn't. It felt like a bunch of people that would have rather have been somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know.
Or I don't know. And Tom brings a cake. And then James and Allie arrive. And I just loved Allie. She is such a real one. You know, she's like, I'm building a relationship with I'm building a relationship with Ariana. Why would I even want to engage with Sandoval? And she's like, I'll just wait out here. Don't even tell him I'm out here. I loved that. When she's like, just don't even tell him I'm out here.
Okay, maybe that's part of my thing too, right? Because I come into this brand new, right? I'm kind of like Allie, right? Like I'm new to the group, right? And so you're introducing me to your friends, and you're like, okay, this is my friend Ariana, and this is my friend Tom. Tom cheated on Ariana, right? And I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, well then I guess I'm on this side, right? Like, you know, fuck that guy. Like,
why even start a relationship with somebody that, when you already know that, and she's my new fave so far, and I want to say the youngest member of the cast. I don't know, but I don't.
She said she's probably close to James' age, I would guess. But I mean, James is pretty young too, right?
Well, she's 28, and James is in his 30s, I think, early. But I think she must have had a fairly healthy upbringing because she knows how to make healthy boundaries. And I think that, I mean, you can't blame anyone for your behavior or anything like that, but I do think that her influence is rubbing off in a positive way onto James. But I mean, that's just me. I think when you have support and feel cheered on, it just makes you a better person in general. It makes you want to be better. But I'm really
you make me want to be better.
Aw, you make me better. Not just want to be, but definitely want to be.
Well, I'm gonna get there someday when I quit smoking so much pot and being so lazy. I will be better. But for right now, you make me want to be better.
Well, I can't promise that I will ever quit smoking pot, but I can promise I will be better.
Well, you do influence me to do drugs. I'm just saying.
No, but that was another one of my favorite parts was when James was saying, "Who the fuck are you?" Like I was saying, who the fuck is this guy? DJ JK is king of the confessionals. I can't get enough. And again, James did love Sandoval, and Sandoval, whether it was real or not, showed love to James. And even like Sheena in the finale, I know I keep referencing that from last year, when she had such a hard time cutting it off with him after Scandival, and when she was crying, and she said everybody iced me out, and he was the one person that put his arm around her and said, no, you're part of this, get in the picture. And yeah, that's the Sandoval we all knew and loved. And God, that was awful. And it really hurts my feelings for him. And then he always brings up that Kristen thing from 10 years ago. And I'm not saying it wasn't bad, but they moved past it. He moved Ariana into that bedroom he caught Kristen and James into. They lived in that apartment for several years before they bought. You know, I mean, yeah, we've moved past it, Tom. Like,
he's not going to take any accountability.
No. But I thought it was hilarious when James left, and he's like, is it illegal to piss on a bush? And then he goes ahead, and then Allie's like, James, stop, it's Ariana's bush too. Yeah, I like those two.
Yeah, but to be fair though, sometimes it's just really, really nice to pee outside.
Yeah, I imagine. As a woman, it's in emergency cases only, but if I were a dude, I imagine it would.
Oh, I bet you've done your share of pissing in the bushes.
Well, yeah, but that's like when everything's closed or we're on a country road or
like
camping.
Tony, he'll just walk right outside when he's got to pee. He's like, I gotta go pee outside. Just out there and then go piss on the tree, right? The people just driving by, he's standing out there just waving.
And that's pretty much how it ends. It bothered me. It said to be continued, and then we don't get previews. I don't understand the whole to be continued, because isn't that what every episode is? A continuation of the last?
Well, I would hope so. Otherwise, you know.
So how did you feel about this one?
The episode?
Yeah. What would you grade it?
I would say overall it was great at how. I mean, I need a rubric, I guess. The cinematography was fine. How did you feel about the music?
Oh, it was 10 out of 10.
Okay, because all in all,
we got Good as Gold, and we got the Vanderpump Rules music was back. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I can relate.
So let's give it a solid
85.
85.
Well, no.
Good on the music, but then again,
I'm gonna say 75 again, just because not a lot happened, but I was entertained.
Not a lot happened, but you know,
there
Tom looked sad as shit.
Yeah, a lot of audible sighs, like or groans, I guess, and a lot of I don't understand why everyone's this mad at Schwartz. I will never understand. Even on social media, he's taken it, and I'm like, why am I such a Schwartz apologist? Slap me. I mean, I'm probably wrong. Am I wrong?
I think that he's in a tough spot.
He's in a very tough spot. I will always agree with Ariana's stance. Like, as far as she's concerned, I wouldn't want to speak to him either, just because I think she felt like their friendship was a little deeper than that.
Yeah, well, and it's like, but in the end, you got to sit there and go, okay, and especially sit there to watch one of your friends, because I mean, and rightly, Tom Sandoval deserves every bit of what he's getting. But at the same time, if that's your friend, you know, sometimes it's hard to watch your friend sit there and suffer the slings and arrows by themselves. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, fuck, dude, all right.
Yeah, but if you're willing to co-sign for it, you gotta be willing to pay for it. So if he's willing to be Sandoval's ride or die, he has to be prepared to die when the ride is over. And I think the ride for him should have been over a couple years ago, because yeah, he's paying for Sandoval's mess, or
Mhm.
you know, for all the checks that he can't cash.
Well, look, and Sandoval ends up on that show and all this other shit. Like somebody's looking out for Sandoval.
Well, Lisa, for one, she's one of the main
But I mean,
producers.
I mean, look, I don't know a lot about TV in Hollywood, but I imagine if you are a celebrity that's going to get on a celebrity reality show, especially on national television on Fox, not
Oh,
just,
is it Fox?
yeah, like it's not, it's like, it's sort of like, sort of say like on the level of like, say, Dancing with the Stars, right? Which
Yeah.
you say, okay, it's not a huge deal, but it's not Celebrity Rehab or,
Right.
Rock of Love or some fucking shit, right? Like it's you're on the big network.
My mom might even tune in. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. And so
And
to
she
get
would
onto
never
that
listen.
show, I feel like you have to have an in. I can't imagine.
Yeah, but this was right on the heels of Scandival. He was one of the most talked about people for a couple weeks by the time they were casting him.
Yeah, but you know what? I would rather see Floyd Mayweather on that show getting the shit kicked out of him by a bunch of.
Is he on it?
No, but like I'm saying, why Sandoval?
Why Brian Austin Green? And why do you care? I'm not going to say why.
Because I want to see those, meth heads learn some lessons.
That was one season.
All right. I ain't got anything else. I don't know about you, but.
Well, that was the show, folks. I hope you were entertained, and we are finding our footing. I think we're going to get better and better.
I'm learning lots. I think I've learned a lot from week to week.
Yes. And we look forward to growing our community, the Reality Riffs podcast community, if you will. So please, please, please like and subscribe. Tell a friend or two.
Or three.
Just have them subscribe, even if they don't want to listen. It helps us.
Yep, helps us.
And we will love you for it. Thank you.
Thank you.